We are here at Ask the Expert with Ms. Kathrin. Last time, we talked about platinum requiring its own design of sprues and feeders because platinum lacks fluidity. So if you haven't watched that video yet, please click on the link below and watch that video first. So today we'll continue the discussion on how to get to a better platinum casting. The next question we want to ask is, how does the placement of the feeder improve the platinum casting?
The feeder design is absolutely critical to have a good casting outcome. And so when you look at a generic gold ring sprueing, you commonly see that only single feeder sprues are used at the bottom of the ring and whole trees are built like that. But when you look at platinum, that approach doesn't work at all. We have to consider the flow path of the molten metal in the flask, but also if you think of more complex designs such as heavy or signet rings or bangles or designs that have thin and thick cross-sections, you have to consider to even the path of the metal flow. So it is important that we think where to place the feeders, because this ultimately, determines the outcome of the casting quality.
Okay, so I see we have some heavy top rings here, just mocked up for exercise and explanation. And we've got 6 different designs here. So these ones, we've got feeders going into the back of the rings. And from last episode, no, we shouldn't use the thin sprues and feeders. I'm gonna put that aside. And these other ones have sprues and feeders going to the top. We have something that is a single sprue going on top and a double sprue design. So once again, I'm going to remove the thin ones. So the question is, we've got 3 different designs here. A single going to the back, a single on the top, and a double top. Are we saying that if we cast these 3 different designs, we're going to result in different casting quality?
Yes, absolutely. We can expect to receive 3 completely different casting results. The first thing that we need to understand is that the metal should always flow from the thick part to the thin part. If we are having the metal come to the thin part first, it might occur that clogging happens and the molten metal cannot pass the clog, and you will have a no-fill situation in your casting. The second concept is called directional solidification. And here we're talking about planning the metal flow such that it goes from the outside in. So the furthest away part will be fed first, and then the molten metal flows through the design towards the stem direction and eventually to the feeder and the tree stem itself. When we are planning the metal path that way, we avoid a lot of shrinkage porosity, because the whole concept of the flow is from outside in. So we can see when we're looking at this ring that was like sprued from the bottom, that this will get a less successful flow because you're starting at the thin part and going to a thick part. This is exactly what we said we don't want to do. So here, where we have the reverse, where the sprue is placed at the top of the ring, the probability of a good casting outcome is much improved.
So what's the difference with the double?
Well, the double one has the advantage that you have double the speed of filling, you have double the rate of metal flow. So this promises the best casting results. So you can even consider that when you have a very heavy ring, that you can put 3 or more sprues, but it's completely dependent on the complexity of the design.
This is fantastic. The animation, your explanation makes everything simpler to understand. So metal flows from thick to thin, and then we want solidification to happen from the outside and coming back to the center. I get it. So we invite you to ask the expert, because the expert has the answers.